Welcome back to this 5th video. Let's check our home play. You're asked to think about the brainwave states and recognize what activities you are doing in each brainwave state. When you are thinking of more than one thing at a time, like most of the time, as in being at work, driving a car, conducting your normal daily activities, you are in the beta brainwave state. This is the only state that we can take on stress. When you are thoroughly absorbed and the time flies, as in doing something you love or working on a hobby, you're in the alpha brainwave state. This includes reading or even studying. Likewise, when you're at your beach, inside your mind, or you are daydreaming or staring, you're in alpha. In the alpha state, you release stress. When you are meditating or you are dreaming, you are in the theta brainwave state. In the delta state, that's the deep sleep, no dreams state.
On Sandy's journey, he used the meditation state deliberately. Remember, this is the same state he was accessing for weight release, changing habits. It's the same state that his son Andrew accessed in hospital when he saved his leg. Incidentally, what Andrew was doing when he worked at healing his leg in 1981 is now called psychoneuroimmunology. This term was first coined in 1996. That's right, it has been scientifically proven that with guided imagery and visualization, in the meditation state, you can increase the T4 cell count in the immune system. That's the fighting cell. This is now widely used by the alternative health industry. Sandy used the theta state dealing with that terrible tragedy in his life. In 1987, his 3 teenage daughters were murdered. Jenny and Kirsty were twins at 19, and Lexi was turning 16 the very next day, 24th of January. They were shotgun murdered in their own home in Sydney. Sandy was married to Sandra, and they lived about 10 minutes driving time away from the girls and their mother. Sandra and Sandy had 2 small children, Lara 5 and Ian 3. The girls were planning to spend the long Australia Day weekend camping and celebrating Lexi's birthday with friends. Sandy spoke with his daughters at about 7 p.m. that Friday night. At 2 in the morning on Saturday the 24th of January, the police came to his home to tell Sandy what had happened. His first reaction was disbelief. Impossible. The second reaction was denial, including denial of God. Arriving at their home, Bev, the girl's mother, and Sandy held each other, shaking. The girls' bodies were being brought down out of the house. So this was the beginning of shock. 2 kinds of shock. One was immobilizing, which he had witnessed in war, a zombie-like state, a non-thinking state, and then into hatred and anger and revenge thoughts which consumed Sandy. He went from one state of shock to the other. Sandy had 2 things that helped him. One was a group of friends who kept him talking. If you don't talk about it, then you bottle it up. You're not handling it with your conscious mind, so the subconscious mind, that's the dream mind, has to handle it. How does it do that? With hot sweats, nightmares, unexplained anger, and irrational action. This is similar to PTSD, and most of it is caused because we don't talk about it. The second thing Sandy had was meditation. He regularly meditated, and then one morning, in the middle of meditation, Sandy had a real wake-up call, which was, hey, if you persist in hatred, anger, and revenge thoughts, you'll end up like that. Remember, we talk to ourselves 60,000 times a day. Negative self-talk was already a habit with Sandy, and negative thoughts attract negative thoughts. In other words, if he kept thinking hatred, anger, and revenge, then he would become another victim. And he's done it to himself. Why let that guy win again? Decision time. He didn't want to become another victim, So what could he do with these habits? Change them. By doing meditation, he changed the negative habits into acceptance and letting go, unconditional love, and ultimately forgiveness. That's when he broke through some sort of barrier. How did Sandy know? Because he wanted to get on with his life again. Finally, he understood the real power of the subconscious mind. In 1988, he knew that he wanted to teach others about that power. Sandy knows we can all do it. Hundreds of thousands know that. Be one of them. And it's easy.
Here is a little more science that I'm going to talk about. The reticular activating system. On the picture, notice the circle between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. That represents the reticular activating system, RAS for short. It is the filter that sits between the conscious and the subconscious mind. It is physically about as big as the tip of your little finger. This filter opens in the relaxed state. This means that the communication from the conscious mind, the guiding mind, can go through the filter to the subconscious mind in both the relaxed state and the meditation state. Relaxation is essential to use the subconscious mind deliberately. Now you can see the importance of relaxation, other than, of course, to release stress. Here's something else. The subconscious mind does not know the difference between imagination and reality. Have you ever had a dream that you were falling? Was your heart beating faster? Was your adrenaline running? Hot sweats? And when you woke up, what was the first thing you said to yourself? Most say, thank goodness it was just a dream. But which mind said that? The awake mind, the conscious mind. The subconscious mind, the dream mind, it didn't know. Heart beating faster, adrenaline running, and hot sweats. So the subconscious mind does not know the difference between imagination and reality. Now is that fantastic? Or is that fantastic? No choice. It's fantastic. Why? Because when you use the subconscious mind, you can pretend. That's right, pretend. Look at the way the sporting world uses it. They pretend they're winning. They pretend they're getting the best time. They pretend they're getting a better stroke. It is all pretense and imagination inside their mind. They haven't actually done it yet. They pretend they're getting the gold medal. Look at the left-hand side of the diagram. There is the beta brainwave state, the stress state, and the red tightly drawn lines represent the filter of the RAS. The lines are so tightly drawn together that nothing goes through them. Underneath is the word closed. The filter is closed, which means that we don't use the beta state to deliberately get information into or out of the subconscious mind. In the center of the diagram, where is the alpha, the relaxed state, and the theta state, the meditation state. See that the lines are a little further apart, meaning that the filter is partly open. This means that the information can be deliberately communicated to the subconscious mind by the conscious mind. It's a two-way street. Information can also be extracted from the subconscious mind, from memory. Notice the right-hand side is the delta state, the deep sleep state, where the filter is wide open. An interesting point of science is that the subconscious mind doesn't want to know anything new. I'll tell you more in the next video. This means that when you're in the deep sleep state, the subconscious mind doesn't want to learn anything. For instance, sleep learning tapes in the delta state do not work. So save your money.
So here is some home play. What would you like to achieve using your subconscious mind deliberately? In the sixth and final video in this series, we will cover explaining the sleep cycle, why Sandy says that to achieve more, don't step out of your comfort zone, a summary of what we have covered in these 6 short videos. Don't be a victim.